Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped, something.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny. I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things. Of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
All right. Any parts you'd like to get to know better or change your relationship with? Or anything at all you'd like to explore?
Thinking about my relationship with sustaining certain states of feeling content.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is the content, is that contentment of a part? Is there a part that gets, that is discontent, or does it feel like the contentedness is you when parts are settled?
There's parts that are content, and then there's still a part that's challenging other parts.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How so? What is it? How does it show up?
Feeling like it shows up in the right lower side of my throat. Right side of my throat. Like feeling clogged.
Okay.
Funny. I just burped. I don't know if that was me trying to shake up that
maybe
part. Mind you, that feeling is still there. So it's probably not the burp.
Yeah. And what about it? How does it challenge other parts? How does it show up that makes you categorize it in that way or notice it in that way?
I think it's pensive, critical, feels like this part warns or wants to tell others that you can't expect to feel this feeling all the time of being happy.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not realistic.
Right.
So I think it is pessimistic in certain ways, or critical.
Okay.
And
how
I
do you
feel like it's 8.
Go ahead.
I'm getting 8.
That's how old it feels like it is, or it sees the rest of the system as?
That's how old it is.
Mm-hmm. And how are you feeling towards it now?
Pause was me working out and trying to accept everything and treat it like a part, or understand it. How do I feel? At first, again, I'm questioning its existence. That's the first feeling that I've now am working around.
Questioning its existence?
Yeah, trying to be like, where is this from? What is this? Why do I have all of this? But then I put that aside.
Yeah, because that was kind of like, was that like a curiosity, but kind of a judgmental or disliking kind?
It was, I think, an attack of all my being in a way.
Yeah.
Here as that sounds, it was also like, how much parts do I have?
Why Did you say how many parts?
Yeah, it made me wonder what, as things arise, parts arise, like, where do they come from? Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And then I push that aside, though. I'm like, also like, oh, but and it's a good push aside. Like, I don't, more or less, like, still, I guess that is one of the first gestures, is that,
I think I'm missing like half of what you just said. I don't know if it's my connection or yours. It's very likely mine, because I'm in a parking lot of a Hardee's right now. So can you just say that again?
I'm saying, like, questioning why I have all these parts and where do they come from, and
right,
what is the purpose, and is this accumulative, and why am I worrying about this? And I also, at the same time, am pushing that aside, or at least I'm trying to figure out that pushing aside too. Maybe not too much in depth, but
okay. So first there's this critical part saying that you can't be content all the time. And then there's kind of this attack of the whole system or of this part saying, where does all this come from? Why am I like this? How many parts do I have? Which is, you're saying, is also kind of critical in nature. And then
so it's like a mirror.
And then you have like pushing on that too.
Yeah, it's maybe what I'm feeling is like really analyzing my receptiveness and how immediate my responsiveness is to, because I don't know, maybe I'm just like that sometimes. Like
yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Just, analyzing, being mindful of it, right? It's a lot to notice. So maybe you can send all those parts a message that they're welcome. And maybe kind of looking at them all, see if one is rising to the front and is where you want to go first.
it's still that
Still the first one.
8-year-old throat, right side, newer.
Okay. Well, yeah, see if you can ask those other parts in a kind way, if they'll give you some space. And you can also let them know that if they have more that they want to share with you, you can come back and work with them later.
Yep.
I heard you say half of a word. Did you say more than that?
I just said yeah. I said yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, like the parts are agreeing.
Oh, great. All right. So now how are you feeling towards that 8-year-old part?
I'm feeling good. Imagery I'm getting oddly is weird. Very, like, it has like teeth. It's like a gear or something.
Teeth, and what was that, the next word?
Like a gear. Like it's like it has like a tool.
Oh.
It's like a gear. it's and weird sensations coming up. I'm gonna just call them weird.
Okay. You all right with all that? You feeling curious about it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just let it know that's fine. It's fine to be weird, and just let it know you're curious. See what else it has to show you.
Wants to show me that it's useful.
And what is its role? What's useful? How is it useful?
Keeps things in track.
Mm-hmm.
Keeps parts moving, literally, like a gear. Teeth connected, and things moving, intertwined.
Okay. And does it do that? Is its main way of doing that with that kind of criticism or critical approach?
I think its intent is good. Its language is bad. Or I should not say bad, but not yet as mature as it will be.
Okay. And does all that make sense to you?
If anyone knows it well, it would be me. Yes.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, you know it well. I'm sure other parts have, well, like the ones we asked to step back, they probably know it pretty well or have lots that they would want to say about it. But yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, you could ask more about its role, how it works. You could ask how it likes its role, or how it came to be.
I think, yeah, I think it sees itself as being vital to other parts, and wants to sort of manage them, guide them. And it was probably, I'm feeling like it was created out of a sadness that I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah. Yeah, just stay with that and keep asking it about that. You could ask what it's afraid would happen if it didn't work in the way it does.
It's being critical of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hearing I have misaligned beliefs.
Okay. And when it's
like that.
And when it's critical of you or right now, how do you respond to it? What's your emotional response?
I'm now wondering, my response is this yet again something related to my religious upbringing, which I didn't even feel like when I started this.
So I was just saying that I think that it's possible that when you say, I think this might be part of my religious upbringing, that could be kind of a figuring out part. And so I would just kind of ask you again, when this part is critical of you, how do you feel towards it when it's critical of you?
Without this kind of inquiry and session, I would probably react adversely.
Mm-hmm.
Without this kind of mindfulness and compassion, I would probably think, I don't want you.
Yeah.
So,
but now you're feeling compassionate?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's all I was wanting to kind of check to see how you're reacting to that. So you might just let it know that like you're okay with its criticism and you do want to hear it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It can be heard.
Yeah. And then I would kind of lean towards questions around either that sadness or what it's afraid of. You mentioned misaligned beliefs. You could ask like what those are, what would be a problem with the beliefs you have.
It's the doubt, believing in doubtfulness.
So it has a problem with your doubting.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Does that make sense to you?
Well, yes and yes and yes. Hmm. Um, this is a interesting part. Um, yeah, I really think it's empowering in a way. Double-edged.
Yeah, the part in the role that it does.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, you can show it some appreciation for the whatever powers it's bringing, and for its intention. Just see how it responds to that.
I'm appreciating it, and I realize that right now maybe I'm drifting into the conversation more than self drifting into this. Maybe I need to slow down.
Yeah. What part feels like it's coming into the conversation?
My curiosity, or
Sure.
Yeah, I responsiveness, which is seemingly influenced or mirrored or connecting to this part too.
It's connecting to the part.
The same critical and how rapid it wants to change things or be attentive to, or which I'd say I'm pretty rapid in general sometimes.
Right. Yeah. Well, I would suggest just asking that part to step back again. And if it really, if you feel like you need to switch gears and hear more from it, we can do that too. Or if it won't step
back in, Step back.
Step back
Okay,
out. Yeah. You know, again, if you're talking about a part that's being critical of this part that you're trying to get to know, that's what I was understanding.
Oh, okay.
Did I have that wrong?
I'm sort of just falling into all this intertwined, but overall, like somewhat, or no, I shouldn't say somewhat, but it's not bad. It's not all bad energy right now.
Yeah, curiosity is good, right? Curiosity is one of the 8 C's that we need that for sure. So if it's an open curiosity, we want more of that. If it's a harsh, critical curiosity, then that's a part we want to step back. So should I keep going? Should I keep asking my questions? I don't know how much I should jump in here. If you're in self energy, then you know the right way to go, and whatever you come up with will be more clever than anything I come up with.
I'm just trying to. Feels like everything is partying, excited. So I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
Everything. Almost doing another minute of meditation.
It's fine by me.
The 10-year-old is happy.
Oh, the one that was enjoying the Vegas trip?
Yeah, the one that seems to be a big part.
Is he happy about something that's going on here with this 8-year-old part? This toothy gear part?
I think it's just smirking like, yeah, sure. Yeah, like, yeah, I think, yeah, in a way.
How are you being with with that 8-year-old part? Is it still feeling like you have a connection there?
Yeah, I think it is a bit more, it's there, it's a little less active in its wanting to guide every other part. So,
Yeah. And what would happen if it didn't
didn't guide other parts.
Yeah. Not saying it shouldn't, just wondering.
I still don't think it would be relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
Or content in a way, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I were to use that initial.
What does it think would go?
Trail.
What does it think would go wrong if it didn't, or if it just were to trust you to do all that?
It
Hypothetically,
would just be spinning for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it would be kind of, yeah. Okay, so yeah, it would kind of lose its job and be purposeless. Yeah, we don't want to do that.
No, it wants purpose.
Right. So if it could have anything, if it didn't have to work hard managing these other parts, and again, maybe that's what it wants to do. I don't have judgment on that. But if it had everything its way, what would it rather be doing?
Leisurely sitting out in the sun, drinking a nice cold drink of some sort of juice, and chilling the fuck out. Chilling out. That's what it would like to be doing.
Okay. And how old does it think that you are?
My own current age.
Mm-hmm. And what does it need from you so that it can feel like it's able to take the day off and chill?
Stare at it, attention.
Did you say stare at it?
Yeah, like it wants me to stare at it. So at least know that it's there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Funny, like the imagery this imagery I'm getting, so trippy, so funny. Just like this gear that's spinning forever, so fast, becomes a saw. Almost. Sorry, I don't know. Blabbering.
No, those images are very valuable.
It's funny how something so fast can, on one hand, like it functions, or it's in motion to function, but if it goes too fast, it becomes dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like that's not an intention per se, but it can just become that way through motion.
Yeah. And is it saying that by you attending to it more, it can avoid that?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. I think that's one of the things I'm getting is like, it's fine with control in a way. It almost wants its control / guidance or supervision, and it's fine with supervision.
Yeah.
So maybe I can do that in moderation.
Yeah, and you can ask it and kind of brainstorm with it. What that would really look like. I was curious if because I'm hearing it wants supervision. It wants supervision. When it said it wanted you to stare at it, is it also saying that it has more to tell you? Like, does it not feel heard or understood by you still?
Like, from what I've been taking from this, I understand it a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it feels not unheard.
Yeah.
In a way, though. So what gives a challenge is, or like I think in the beginning I felt like this part was a challenge, but now everything feels a little more jovial. With some duty to it.
It's awesome. Jovial's good.
Mm-hmm.
So is there more you want to work out with it on how to relate to it going forward?
I'm thinking about something I said previously about belief and
Yeah, I had a note that I wanted to come back to that too.
and I'm wanting to ask that part about that.
Yeah.
That could be another 5 hours or something. Sorry, I'm just
Sure.
like,
yeah. I've had that feeling a lot with a lot of parts. Like, I've specifically seen parts that they look like they have a list, and it's almost like a cartoon, like Santa Claus or something, where the list is going down to the ground and rolling like off into the distance. And then
right, that's
but that's like at first blush. And then I go and say, okay, all right, let's hear the list. And they're like, well, really, it's 2 things. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, I think a lot of times, and who knows, maybe it does have 5 hours of info it wants to download, but so often I think we're surprised by how efficient it can be when we just say, okay, I got time.
Yeah. Santa Claus is coming to town.
I have lots of questions just out of curiosity, and they might not be useful at all, but just thinking back through the conversation about there was that part saying, oh, does this come from a place of sadness? Does this come from a religious upbringing? And I suggested that you ask that part to step aside. But maybe you want to invite it back in and say, okay, maybe there is some figuring out to do now that you feel like you've connected with the part. You can invite back in that figuring out part. if you want, if it feels useful.
Yeah, I want to sort of, that's what I guess I was doing right now. I get a sense the age of that figuring out part is 8 as well. And I was feeling like that part has 4 parts. Like a window.
Figuring out part has 4 parts.
It started visually, but or object wise, but that gives me an impression that it has 4 parts to it. Ooh, let me step back from that 4 parts though. And yeah, the 2 don't seem to, the 2 seem to want to ignore each other.
How about the parts that were critical of this part?
Of the gear or
Yeah,
the belief?
with the gear. Could bring them back in, see if they have anything more to add or anything, any comments, concerns about your work with this part.
They seem more like spectators now. It's almost like they're watching in a circle surrounding these 2.
Does the sensation in your throat feel any different?
Yeah, it's not really, the part's not there anymore. It's stuck in the imagery that I've made.
In a tree?
Sorry?
Did you say in a tree?
Imagery.
Imagery.
Like it's stuck in.
Yes.
Stuck in the setting describing. Like it. When you said that though, it really definitely looks like it. I'm spectating and I don't feel like I'm reading anything at the moment. I'm observing.
What else needs to happen here with these parts?
first thing I think of is referee, but then I realize, like, do you really need to fight? Like, is this a fight?
Yeah, so you have the two of them kind of together.
Yeah, it's like, literally, it looks like somehow naturally this is the fight. This is, how do all these parts feel? Well, they feel like there's a crowd around, they're surrounding them, they're tightening the ring, that these two parts just don't get along, that they want to, like, ignore each other or be passive. And then now there's me talking to you. And then the first thing I think of is referee. And then I'm like, no. Do they need this? A referee? Like,
well, my question is, do they need to be together? I mean, if they're not enjoying each other's company,
I guess
are they
they
asking?
don't need to be together.
Are they asking
they're not
for that?
No, they're not asking for that, actually. No. It's just my own curiosity.
Yeah, right. And I was curious too. I was curious about, again, kind of like, if there is some figuring out, or a figuring out part wants to comment. I was curious in its comments, but parts don't need to get along. I mean, parts often are very polar opposites, and the important thing is that they can connect with you, and that's usually what they want. They, like, this one wants you to stare at it. It wants you to attend to it. And the more parts feel like you're there for them, they don't have to fight. They don't have to communicate, really. I mean, sometimes they can and should, and it's great, but a lot of my parts, at least, they don't have anything to do with each other.
You're right. Also, it's just interesting what curiosity can also, or I shouldn't say also, but what curiosity can do. Or facilitate. Not critical of that, just
So how do they feel? How do they feel about, like, go ahead.
Oh no, I was freezing frame, like, that scene, moving the frame so fast, or, see, I'm talking so abstractly.
Hey, if it makes sense to you, and if you're connecting with parts, it doesn't need to make sense to me.
All right. It's like a movie. It's like film strip. You play it, whatever, 24 frames a second, you see it in a second. You see a second emotion. I feel like my curiosity probably plays things at twice that rate. And I feel like today's session made me realize to control and slow down and go back frames, go back. Don't always think that this has to be an entirely linear experience.
Yeah.
It can move, you can edit it. That's what I think I'm actually getting out right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if some of that curiosity has kind of an experimental, I'm thinking kind of a mad scientist type of curiosity. I feel like, earlier that word came up, curiosity, and it was kind of in a critical curiosity. So it's just interesting to explore that word because it's one of the 8 C's, especially. I just want to think about the different uses of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The self curiosity is like, I'm open. I want to listen. I want to know about you. And then, yeah, if there's other curiosity, again, if there's a Frankenstein in there, or some other kind of curiosity, it might be a part worth investigating, getting to know.
Like a mad scientist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think I will take time to explore this.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like this has been complete.
Awesome.
This session, I will say, has been completed.
Okay. All right.
If I can say that. And
you may. Does it feel at all useful for you? Feel like you're in a better place with this part, at least?
Yes, and I'm always discovering new things.
Yeah. Beauty of it. A little terrifying, also beautiful.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for sharing it all.
Thank you.
Okay.
Talk to you later. I hope your internet comes back on.
Yeah, me too. All right. I hope to hear from you soon.
See you. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows? That might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. And they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.